You clicked on this video because you've probably heard about the keto diet, the carnivore diet, and probably the OMAD diet, also known as 1 meal a day. But in this video, I'm going to be breaking down why it's BS for weight loss, okay? And I'm going to be showing you what to do instead in order to be, come from this little skinny fat boy with skinny arms and nice little love handles in order to become this guy right here, right? You have that nice lean toned physique that you want. And obviously you clicked on this video in order to learn. So if you're playing this in the background or anything, watch this video for another day because I want you to take a pen and paper and actually take some notes, okay? So I'm going to be breaking down why keto, carnivore, and 1 meal a day isn't the right way to lose weight, and how you can use the eBuy method, which is what I use, in order to get closer to your fitness goals without restrictive dieting, okay? At the end of the day, we want something that's sustainable for the long run, and keto, carnivore, 1 meal a day, you can't sustain that for a long run, okay? And the eBuy method works for everybody, okay? Yes, it worked for me, but it's also worked for my clients over here. So here's Derek right here. Here's Derek's story. Derek got really out of shape from playing video games and would always run out of breath when he would play with his son. After reaching out, he was able to lose weight while still enjoying video games, and now is able to make time for his kids without running out of breath, okay? This is his before and after. And this is Ryan's story. Ryan, he actually works really long hours trying to run his pressure washing business. He works a regular job, and he's also been lifting for a while now, but didn't really have the proper dieting on track, okay? After reaching out, he was able to make this nice little transformation right here. And this is Gilbert's story, okay? Gilbert, he works as a security and used to lift when he was younger, right? But, everybody, whenever you get out of high school, you tend to, fall off track or whatever. But after reaching out to me, he started tracking his calories, doing his cardio, and, he was able to make a nice transformation like this. And the reason why my clients actually lose the weight and get closer to their goals simply because they enjoy the foods that they love, okay? Here's, a picture of Toshi. He sent me a picture of this. And here's some pictures of my guy Mark. These are foods that they love. They just let me know what. Very, very unprofessional. So sorry about that. Okay. But this is the foods that they love, okay? Like, as you can see, right? Ground beef, some greens, and my guy Mark, he loves fish, right? They're able to get close to their goals because they just let me know, okay, I want to eat ground beef instead of chicken. I want to eat fish instead of, ground beef. They just let me know the foods that they love, and I'm able to make it work within their meal plan, okay? And the reason why I do what I do and I love what I do is because I get texts like this, okay? My guy Mark, he just hit 158 pounds, and I was like, yo, bro, how does it feel to be 158 pounds? He says, it feels good, bro. I feel a little skinnier for some reason, lol, but I feel great, man. And that's a bet, bro. Appreciate that. And for sure, will do, bro. Okay. So I get these nice texts from my clients when I wake up. And if you're interested in becoming one of my clients, just book a call with me down below, and we'll see if I could help you out. Other than that, let's get started with why you shouldn't do keto. Okay. Keto, first of all, energy crash. Keto cuts out carbs, which is the body's main energy source. You'll feel during that work or maybe even during workouts, okay? And it's also hard to sustain. It's extremely restrictive. Eating out or, going out to little parties with your family, it's going to become stressful and it's not fun at all. And you might even lose some muscle. Without carbs, your workouts is not really going to be that beneficial because you use carbs as energy at the gym, and people think carbs make you fat, but no, it doesn't. You're just eating the wrong carbs, or you're just probably eating way too much carbs in general, okay? 1 meal a day, OMAD, is even worse, bro, right? It's unsustainable. Fitting all of your calories and protein in one meal. How are you going to do that, right? And it's like, why are you restricting yourself to eating 1 meal a day? Come on, we should be eating like 3 meals a day, maybe less, maybe more, right? And you'll also slow your metabolism and energy dips, right? Eating only once can make your body hang onto fat and tank your energy for work and maybe your day-to-day life. And it's also hard to hit your protein intake. At the end of the day, we're not losing weight just to lose weight and become skinny fat. We want to lose weight so that we can, maintain our muscle mass and still build more muscle along the way, okay? Oh, but what about carnivore, man? Let's try carnivore. No, bro, relax, stop. Here's why. Nutrient gaps, okay? Cutting out fruits, veggies, and carbs means missing out on essential vitamins and minerals, right? Socially limiting, bro. Imagine going out with your coworkers and you want lunch and your plate is just filled with fucking chicken, ground beef, and steak. Like, That doesn't make sense, okay? You're gonna stuck to only eating meat. Grown man, you're only eating meat. Come on, right? Last but not least, it's boring and restrictive, right? Imagine like only eating meat, right? That it gets old way too fast, right? Which leads to most people to quit or rebound. Okay. Here's one thing. Okay, everybody that does right keto, keto, OMAD, and carnivore, right? Yes, they lose weight, right? Yes, they lose weight. Don't get me wrong, okay? They'll lose weight for, maybe a couple of months, but do they keep the weight for the long run? No, they do not keep the weight for the long run, okay? So instead, what we're gonna use and what we're gonna learn today is called the Ibai method. Okay? The Ibai method is understanding macro manipulation in order to get close to your goals while still enjoying the foods that you love, right? Here's some little pics of me enjoying the foods that I love. Boom, look at this. Raising Kanye's, bro. Having some Raising Canes, in my car. Oh, I love Raising Canes. I'm like drooling even thinking about it. Right there, boom. I'm eating Raising Canes, and I had a transformation like this, okay? Had some cookies and ice cream as a little dessert when I went out with my girlfriend, and I had some steak and mac and cheese. As you can see right here, I'm not doing keto. I'm not doing 1 meal a day. I'm not doing, carnivore. But how am I able to do this, man? Like, how are you able to make a transformation like this? Let me show you exactly how you do it, right? First, you need to understand your calories, fats, carbs, and protein, okay? Right? In order to actually lose weight, you need to understand your TDEE, okay? TDEE, okay? That basically means your total daily energy. I'm not even gonna try to spell it. It's called expenditure, right? Expenditure. All right, boom. That's really bad spelling, but bear with me, guys. Right? Total daily energy expenditure. That basically means that's the amount of calories your body uses each day. Okay, so why is that even important, man? It's because, right? If you eat the same as your TDEE, you're going to stay the same. If you eat on a deficit, which is less calories than your TDEE, you're going to lose weight. If you eat within a surplus, you're going to gain weight. Okay? So, first of all, like, how do we even find our TDEE? Okay, just use any free calorie calculator online. I use this app right here. It's called a TDEE calculator. It's on, Google, whatever you use, right? Just put in your gender, age, weight, and height, and leave the activity level as sedentary. Okay, once you put all of that in, you'll get what's called your calorie maintenance. That's the amount of calories your body uses each day. So if you're trying to lose weight, eat 300 to 500 calories less than your calorie maintenance, because you want to be losing about 1 to 2 pounds per week. Okay, so now we know how much calories we're actually eating. We need to also understand our protein, fats, and carbs and why it's actually important. Okay, so protein, it helps you build muscle, repair your muscle, and helps with skin, your nails, and whatever. But the real reason why we're eating protein is because we want to maintain and build our muscle mass. Okay, examples of protein is like chicken, eggs, beef, fish, and tofu. Okay, carbs, right? A lot of people say, no, carbs make me fat. Oh, I'm eating carbs and now I'm fat. No, okay, carbs don't make you fat. You're probably eating the wrong carbs, or you're just eating way too much carbs in general. Okay, carbs are actually used as energy right before the gym. Okay, so what I do every single time right before I go to the gym, I have 2 tablespoons of honey, and I have some rice cakes. Right, it's fast, quick digesting carbs. And what's that going to do is that when I have 40 grams of carbs right before the gym, I'm able to use that energy at the gym to lift weights, and I even have a better pump. Okay, so carbs are really important. And oh man, fats, whatever, fats. Come on, guys, right? Fats don't make you fat, bro. Okay, it helps your body absorb vitamins and keep your hormones healthy. Matter of fact, man, like, if you can see my skin right here, I used to struggle a lot with acne, but now my skin is kind of clearing up simply because I eat my healthy fats. Okay, examples of healthy fats are like avocados, nuts, olive oil, and butter. For carbs, the regular rice, potatoes, bread, fruits, and veggies. Okay, so how much protein, fats, and carbs should I be eating if I understand how much calories I'm eating, okay? I'm sure I already explained how to find your calories, but now how do we, manage the protein, fats, and carbs? For your protein, have about 0.7 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight, okay? So take your body weight, times it by 0.7, or times it by 1, or times it by 1.2, and that's how much protein you should be eating, okay? I highly recommend keeping your protein high, because if you're eating within a deficit, you know, protein will actually keep you more full and more satiated, so that you don't end up overeating on random stuff, okay? So instead of doing the 0.7 or 1.2 grams, I just do 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 180 pounds, eat 180 grams of protein, okay? So how much fats should you be eating now? Eat about 0.3 to 0.5 grams of fats per pound of body weight. So take your body weight, times it by 0.3. That's the bare minimum, okay? Take your body weight, times it by 0.5. That's, kind of the max, right? Don't try to go over, the amount of fats. And as far as your carbs, just fill in the rest of your calories with carbs, okay? So what I do in order to, do all of this, I use this app called MyFitnessPal. It's free, you could use it yourself, and that's where I'm able to track my calories, so I can have some Raising Cane's, or maybe some steak in the morning, or some eggs, okay? On that site, you're able to actually, balance your carbs, protein, and fats. Look around the site, and you'll actually use this right here. So just play around with it, bump up the protein, bring down the protein, bump up the fats, bring down the fats, bump up the carbs, bring down the carbs, right? And then the total should be 100%. And once you get that, that's the amount of fats, protein, and carbs you should be eating, okay? The main important part here, if you're trying to lose weight, is staying within that calorie deficit, okay? You're not going to lose weight if you are not within a calorie deficit. So that right there is exactly how you set up your fats, protein, and carbs, okay? Since you've stayed this long, and you're my boy now, and you like me, I like you, okay? Here's some bonus fast food options because you stayed this long, okay? If you want some quick, low calorie, high protein, here's some pandas. Get the grilled teriyaki chicken with the super greens and some Diet Coke. And here's the macros right here. Chick-fil-A is the best out of the best, but it's a little expensive. You got some grilled chicken sandwich, the fruit cup, and Diet Coke. And here's the macros right here. Maybe you want some McDonald's, get the McChicken, side salad, make sure there's no dressing, and get a Diet Coke. And here's the macros right here, okay? Now we understand the buy method, understanding the calories, fats, protein, carbs, in order to track our calories and get closer to our goals. But what do I eat, right? Do I eat whole foods? Do I eat cookies, right? Just use the 80-20 rule, man, okay? So 80% of your diet, make sure you're having whole, organic, clean foods. That basically means, right, if it's one ingredient, okay? So if you want chicken, eat chicken. Don't be eating chicken nuggets, right? If you want potatoes, don't just eat potato chips, eat the actual potato, okay? So 80% of your diet should look like this, right? Actual whole foods. And 20% of the diet, man, like, bro, go have that cookie, go have that Halo Top, go have those M&Ms, simply because we want something that's sustainable for the long run, okay? Because if you're able to use the eat-buy method and track your calories, your fats, carbs, and protein, you can still go out with your girlfriend, you can still go out with your family, and have these little sweet treats and foods, because you understand what a calorie deficit is. And obviously, like, if you don't want to track your calories, just book a call with me down below. I track your calories for you. You just have to eat, okay? So here's some mindset and lifestyle reminders for you, okay? Focus on consistency, not perfection, okay? A lot of people, they tend to have this all or nothing mindset, of like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym 6 days out of the week. And let's say they miss one day. They're like, oh shit, I'm not consistent anymore. Let me just restart Monday, right? That's kind of something that you don't want to do, okay? You want consistency, not perfection. So let's say you're having a really bad day and you go to the gym and you don't have a good workout. It's still a win, bro. You went to the damn gym, okay? So focus on that part in order to, actually grow, right? You can still eat out or have treats, just fit them within your calories, okay? Because at the end of the day, we want something that's sustainable for the long run. Keto, OMAD, and Carnivore, that's not sustainable at all, bro. You're gonna lose the weight, but you can't keep it off at all. But as you can see right here, I'm still eating, I'm still going out eating, with my family, my girlfriend, enjoying the foods that I love, and I was still able to make this transformation right here, okay? So it's definitely possible, and it didn't just work for me, it also worked for my clients, okay? So make sure you do that, and track your progress, okay? Because at a certain point, just take pictures every single week, track your weight every single week, because at a certain point, your body weight is gonna stay the same, and your calorie maintenance is not gonna be the same anymore. So what do you do when your weight plateaus? You just do the same thing, right? You go on a TDE calculator again, put in your age, weight, height, and gender, and you'll find your new calorie maintenance, right? Because somebody that's 200 pounds is going to have a higher calorie maintenance than somebody that's 120 pounds, okay? So, find your own, right? And here are some 5 simple action, steps that you can do today in order to follow the buy method, okay? Number one is track your protein, okay? you know, Carbs and fats are definitely important, but protein and calories is the two that I always track, okay? I make sure that I'm hitting my protein intake, and make sure that I'm staying within my calorie deficit, okay? The reason why is because in order to lose weight and lose body fat, you need to go within that calorie deficit. In order to maintain your muscle mass and build more, you need to hit your protein intake, okay? Second thing is right there, I just said that. Eat within that calorie deficit. And this is not as important, but eat the carbs, eat the fats, make sure it's within your macros and all that. But at the end of the day, let's say you're down a little bit on your carbs or down a little bit on your fats, it's fine. You don't do it every single day, but just make sure you're hitting your protein in deficit, and actually plan flexible meals, okay? Don't just eat pizza, 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 right? Have some actual whole foods like ground beef, chicken, fish, and then maybe, on the weekends, you go out with your family and enjoy the pizza on the beach, okay? Do that. And last but not least, move your body, right? Even short little workouts count. I have my light just died. Hopefully you guys can still see me. But, like, have those little short workouts, right? Like 5-day workout splits, 3-day workout splits. I have a lot on my YouTube channel. Just take a look at that, and aim to strength train at least 2 to 4 times per week. Like I said, whether it's 30 minutes or 45 minutes, whatever works. Sorry for my camera dying, guys, but yeah, guys, that was the end of the video. Just watch this video in the description to figure out how to lose 20 pounds in 3 months without going skinny fat. I'll leave it in the description for you guys, or you can just book a call with me or message me on Instagram, and I'll see if I could help you out, man. Looking forward to speak with you guys. You guys have a good one. Peace.